Hey everyone, it's Pam from GlamJunkJournals, and today we are continuing on in my series From Inspiration to Junk Journal. This is series number 2, and it's part 4. So the inspiration for this whole series is this apron that I've deconstructed, and these are some of the pieces that I have left, and I want to use these today for my journal cover. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. But first, I would like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Whether you're new or a returning subscriber, I appreciate you guys watching my videos and commenting, and I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you so much, and keep the comments coming. I love them. So like I said, today we're going to be working on the cover. And I'm calling this my hinged vignette journal cover. Now, the definition of vignette is, as Google says, in decorating, a vignette refers to a small grouping of decorative objects which can make a beautiful personal statement in a room. The purchase of a vignette is twofold: to create an eye-catching pop of interest and to showcase your favorite treasures. Well, isn't that what a junk journal is? I love that. So this is going to be my interpretation of a vignette journal cover. Have you guys created vignettes in decorating? I do that a lot in my house, and my husband likes to use the term like he knows what he's talking about. He goes, "Hey Pam, is that a vignette over there in the corner?" I say, "Why, yes. Good job." He's so funny because he has no clue about decorating. So anyways, let me show you what I've constructed so far on my journal cover. I used for the base of my journal cover this box. Well, not this box, another box. This is the paper that I use when I print out my digitals and all of the graphics that I use. This is awesome. I have an Epson EcoTank printer, and this matte presentation paper really just makes the graphics and all the digitals just so crisp and clear. So anyways, I have a lot of these leftover boxes, so I always save them. So what I did for this particular journal cover, this is the basics for what we're going to work on today. My journal measures 6 by 9, and I chose, let's see how wide of a spine here. It's 2.5 inches. So that's the measurements for my journal. And what I've done is I cut 2 panels, 6 by 9, of this box, and you can use cereal box, cracker box, whatever you want, a piece of chipboard. But in this particular case, that is what I used, is this printer paper box. I cut 2 panels, 6 by 9, and then an additional panel for the spine. Like I said, this measures 2.5 inches across, and it's also 9 inches. So I attached those 3 pieces together with some not double-sided tape, packing tape. And I found that packing tape works great because you can fold it over and it really holds the pages, the covers together awesomely. That's not a word, but it really works well is what I'm trying to say. And then what I did is I took 2 pieces of wallpaper and the same measurements, 6 by 9, and I glued them to my piece of the printer paper pad, or whatever you want to call this. My descriptions aren't that great today. I apologize. And then in the center, I cut a piece of fabric and I glued it all down. And let me flip it over. Now what I did, this is the back cover. So I cut some of the apron to the same dimensions, maybe a little bit less. and I added some batting to the back of this because I felt that this was very thin and kind of flimsy, and I wanted a little bit of thickness to the journal cover, so I added some batting, and I'll show you the batting in just a moment. And then, if you guys recall, I wanted to play up the black and white, so I did a decorative stitch all the way around the back with some black thread because I want to play up that black and white in this cute apron. So like I said, this is the back. So on the other side, this is obviously the front. So an additional thing that I did, as you can tell, is I love lace. So I added lace across the whole thing. And I guess I should have said that before. The lace is also under this back piece, as you can see. So if that makes sense, I think it does, we're going to focus on the cover. So what I've done is I cut another piece, the same dimensions as this, for my cover, and here is the batting on the back. So that is where this is going to be placed. But before we put this down, you know me, I like to do layering. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get back to this in just a minute. This is the vignette part of what I want to create today. So I have some wallpaper here. I've got some scrapbook paper and this gorgeous image. I think I got this, I'm not sure where I got this, but I think this was from Pickerel. And it's, you know, they've got free domain, copyright free, public domain images. I just love that. And it's gonna go so well with all of the purple and the yellow that's going in this journal. So I've cut some pieces out, and they're a little bit smaller than the cover because I want the yellow to show through. So in this particular case, let me see what this measures here. This is 5, it's a 5 by 7. Okay, 5 by 7. And then I cut a piece of wallpaper a little bit smaller so that you can see the outside. So it's a little bit smaller than 5 by 7. This is where the layering comes in. I love to layer. And then on top of that, this gorgeous image. And this one measures, you see where I'm going with the vignette looking. The vignette look here. That's about 3 3/4 by 5. So, you know, it can be whatever size you want. So these are going to be the bases for my vignette. And I just like to create the layered look. Now on the back of this particular one, I just printed this on copy paper. I didn't use my matte presentation paper because I wanted something thinner, and I just backed it with some more of that cardboard box, and I sewed around the edge. Now these are all steps that you guys don't need to do. I just want to show you how I create my covers and hopefully inspire you and, you know, give you some ideas. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the vignette part, for lack of a better, you know, descriptive term. So all I'm going to do is attach these pieces all together. And here is another piece of that box that I used. And I am going to just attach, let me get something out here, hold on. Some magazine so that I don't get my table all gluey. I wanted to attach that piece of scrapbook paper to this piece, this heavier piece of chipboard or whatever you want to call it, cardboard box, whatever you want to say. I wanted to attach this scrapbook paper onto it just to give it some thickness and some stability, because just the scrapbook paper on its own would be kind of flimsy. So this gives it some stability. I love this paper. Like I said before, my daughter got me this paper. Is this the prettiest stuff or what? I'll put a link in the description box to the paper pack. And they've got so many different paper packs. I might have to go get some more. Anyways, okay, continuing on. We are going to put this on top of the scrapbook paper. So we're creating some layers here. Get a liberal amount down here. And then I'm going to place that right in the middle of this, to the best of my ability, right? I got to stand up because I can't see that well. I don't know. I think that looks pretty good. That looks really good. And then on top of that, I wanted to put this. Okay, so let me think about this here for a minute. All right, I think that's what I wanted to do. Yes, that's what I wanted to do. Okay. So I just wanted to make these, oops, I need to put this back on my thing. I wanted to make this top picture of the gorgeous flowers a little more sturdy. So I wanted to back it, but that's just definitely an optional step. So we're going to put that on top of there. Get that all down. I think that all looks fabulous. Okay, now from here, this is the beginning of the vignette. Okay, so on the back, I don't like this and I don't want this to show. And as you will see coming up, I'm going to want to line the back with something, because you will be able to see this on my hinge. So what I want to do is do some more layering. All right. This gorgeous piece of sari silk, I want to peek out of the sides. Isn't that pretty? So how do you do that? Well, you just sit there and you glue it down. So I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac and go around the edges, and I'll show you how I do this. This is pretty cool, the effect here. So I'm just going to go around the edge with my Fabri-Tac. And figure out, see on this you can tell one side is got more of the glitter and the sequins, and the other side doesn't. So I want that to be on the exterior so that it shows through. Now let me look here for just a minute. I may have to rethink what I'm doing here, because I want the gold to show through, meaning I want this to stick out. Now, is it sticking out enough? I think so. And then what I do is I just smush it together. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Hold on just a minute. I think I'm going to do plan B. And the reason being, when I do the scrunch technique, this is as you go crafting, guys. When I do the scrunch technique, these really pretty pieces of gold go underneath. So I am going to cut these off and just do a border. And you'll see where I'm going with this. You'll see. You guys know I love to incorporate fabric in my journals. So back to square one. This is as you go crafting. You know, I have a good idea in my mind of how I want this to play out, but sometimes, you know, things happen and they don't turn out exactly the way you want it. So I'm just going to scrunch that up, and we'll see how it looks on the other side. Like that. So that looks really good. Now, if there's some extra, like if this is too big, I can always cut that off. But for now, that's what we're going with. So we're going to go with the other side here. Come on. So we're just kind of creating a border with this gorgeous sari silk fabric. That's what we're doing. And I like I said, to do the scrunch technique, personal preference, but I like the way it kind of gives, makes the fabric stand up, meaning it's not laying flat. Do you see what I mean like that? I just like that effect. I think that's really cool. Oh, that looks good. Looks really good. And you can finagle around with it. You could also do this with lace or any other type of fabric. That would be fabulous. Hold on just a second. I need to get a paper towel because my Fabri-Tac is freaking out. All right. Okay. Where were we? We're going to do the bottom and the top here. So this is so much fun. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. All right, now, what am I going to do here? I only have this piece left. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut it in half and use half on each end. Because I don't have any more of this. So I'm just going to have to use what you have, right? And I can always figure out the ends later if they don't look that great. And I'll show you what I mean. Show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Oh, that looks really good. Now what I'm going to do is trim down some of these edges here because as you can see, this border right there, I don't really care for that. But I think that that is the beginning of a fabulous looking journal cover vignette. All right, so from here, as you can see on the back, that's not that great. So what I am going to do is add a piece of cardstock. I'm going to get some of my Fabri-Tac down there. I'm going to use that around the edges. You could also use a glue stick. I just grabbed the Fabri-Tac because it was here. And this is another piece that is the same size as the whole vignette. Make sure I get that the same. And we're going to push that down. And on this particular side, I would use cardstock. I just think it is going to create a more sturdy backing. You could also use scrapbook paper, but in this particular case, I think the cardstock works better. All right, so there you go. Now from here, I'm showing you where I'm going with this. This is going to be on the cover. Now, as you can see, the green kind of takes over and you can't see any of the yellow. Oh, So what I am going to do is go around and just kind of, you know, trim the edges here. Make it a little shorter. And I'm just doing it kind of random here. You can be as precise as you want. I could have used my pinking shears, but I don't have those in front of me, and so I think this works just as well. And I might go back and, you know, do some more trimming. I'm not sure. Just depends on how it looks on the journal cover. Oh, look at that. Yay! So that works really well because you can see the yellow underneath, and that's really bringing this whole cover together. Now, you may be asking, well, you said this was going to be a hinge, Pam. It is. And so we're going to take this off. And if you remember, this is not you know, sewn down yet. I am going to take 2 pieces of this gorgeous print that I'm using throughout the journal, and we're going to create a hinge on this. So the plan is, and this is the first time I've ever done this, so you guys are with me on this experiment, is to have the hinge like this. So I am going to glue that fabric, this fabric right here. I'm just going to eyeball 2 spots. I'm going to put my pieces down, and I'm just going to eyeball it. So there's one side of the hinge, and what I want to do is attach it like that. But I want this to go underneath here, and this does seem complicated, but it really isn't. Like that. So there is my hinge. You guys see where I went with that? I put glue on this side, and I'm going to put the other side of that fabric onto the back, and I'm going to sew it all down. Okay, so from here, let me think this through a minute. I wanted to add something else to the whole thing before I sew it down. I wanted to add this piece of twine. Now, I want the twine to go around the whole thing. So it's going to tie like this. I have to get it in the center here. Pull that tight. So that looks fabulous, and you can mess around with the, you know, the edges of your fabric that's sticking through there. Or you could also, you know, cut a little indent, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. So what I am going to do is I am going to sew all the way around this edge of my vignette. And then I'm also going to sew around the edge here and right here to attach the whole thing. So with that being said, I will be right back. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back, and I'll show you what we've got. So hold on. All right, I am back, and let me show you what I did is I sewed all the way around the border of our vignette, and that attached this green sari silk fabric to the vignette. And let me show you the back page. You can see that same stitch all the way around, and that secured our hinge to this front cover. Now, that was all done before I attached it to the cover. So I sewed all the way around, and the other half of this hinge I glued behind this fabric mat cover. So I glued that underneath, and then I sewed all the way around the edge. And what I wanted to point out is I got right up close to the border of this vignette. So I don't have a lot of extra space, just enough so that it folds, meaning I didn't leave a gap. And I like that. I didn't want this to be flopping around, so I abutted it up right next to this particular, you know, what is this, the apron that has the matte backing. And then I sewed all the way around the edge, and that creates our hinge. Oh, yay! I love this. Now, from here, you know me, there's a little bit more I wanted to add to the cover, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do right here. This gorgeous piece of trim, I cut off a dress that I got at Goodwill, and I want to add that right along the side here. So what I'm going to do is just tack that down, or actually glue it down with my Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to glue that real quick. So just hold on here just a sec. I'm going to just get that going here. And if there's any extra on the each end, the top and the bottom, I'll decide if I want to cut it off or just kind of leave it as a dangle. I don't know. So I'm just going around the border here, and I'm going to position it right underneath our vignette. I'm going to stand up again so that I can see what I'm doing here. Just going to get that so that it's tucked right in there, just along the edge there. Get that stuck in there. And I have not decided yet whether I am going to have this open like that or secured down. I haven't added the signatures into this yet, so I'll decide that later. But I'm just tucking that in and getting that secured on there because I like that added pop of purple. So I think that is just the bomb. Oh, yay! And of course, you know me, bling, bling city. So I'm going to glue this cute little piece right here across the side. So I'm going to do that real quick. So just hold on a second. We are almost finished with this beauty. I haven't decided how I'm going to secure the cover. Like, is it going to be a tie closure? It probably will be. So I am going to position this right along the side there, and I'm going to go under that little bit of twine there because I want that to go over. Just get it so that it's looks straight. Gotta eyeball that. That looks wonderful. I like the way the black and silver plays up the black, and I like the combination of the silvers and the golds. I don't think, you know, you have to match all gold or all silver in a journal or in fashion in that being said, I think you can mix metals. So there's that. Now watch, this is really cool. Since we added this little twine on the back side, there is a tuck spot for some ephemera. So you know me, loving to add the ephemera. So I am going to just tuck some, vintage ephemera in here. And I don't know if, I'm going to use all of this, but, and then this piece of gorgeous purple cardstock I thought would be really pretty sticking out of the top. I'll probably put something on the back because I don't care for white backgrounds. So you guys get the idea. Oh, and I have a little postcard there that I think would look gorgeous sticking out of the top. Some additional ephemera sticking out of the bottom. You guys get the idea. So there you have it. There's my journal cover for my next journal. Ha ha! Yay! All inspired by this. Oh, that's so fun. And when I first started, this is what's so exciting, is the creativity just takes you in all of these different directions. And I didn't know this is what my journal cover was going to end up looking like, but I couldn't be more pleased with it. I think it's just beautiful. I'm so excited. So I have been putting together my signatures, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video using some more of this, or if I'm just going to do the final flip through. But either way, the next video will be coming soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any questions on how to create this hinge vignette journal cover, just drop me a comment. I'd love to help you out, because when I first started, all of these kind of covers were very intimidating to me. And it's my goal to try and teach you guys the way these things are put together, and encourage you to give it a try. I know I've branched out of my comfort zone in the last year or two with creating journals, and it's just so gratifying. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.